As long as Donald Trump is the image of the Republican Party, they are finished. Finished. He's only going to become more unpopular. He does so many outrageous things, it's hard to even keep up with them. But he is the face of the Republican Party. He alienates more and more people with each passing day. He cannot change. He doesn't recognize there's anything wrong. So they have to change the top of the ticket, and they can't do that until 2028 unless, nature takes its course at some point. It can with any president at any age. That would be their only way out. And look, they may just nominate another MAGA candidate like J.D. Vance, and then they'll be in the same position. I don't think J.D. Vance is going to have any natural appeal in New York either. And for that matter, neither would Marco Rubio, though it would be less offensive than for other Republican candidates. So they've picked their bed there, right? And they're sleeping in it, and they're going to be in there for a long time. They're going to have a nice long winter's nap.
I find what you're saying so interesting because I've known you a long time. I've followed your commentary for a long time, and I know that what you say, you choose your words very carefully. And so when you make these kind of almost not definitive, but very strong statements, that really says a lot to me about
Well,
the
I
state.
think, and I don't think it takes any great brain power to see that Donald Trump is an acquired taste, and tens of millions have never acquired it and never will. It's as definitive as it can be. And yes, he won in 2024 and got nearly a majority. He didn't get a majority of the vote, but he did win, as he so often tells us, all the swing states. That was his peak. That was his peak, and it was because of Joe Biden's failures, and they were deep failures, deep failures.
Which
And
is so
Harris,
ironic, yeah.
Harris, it is ironic, and Harris could not possibly make up for Biden's problems. So, in
Right.
a sense, the Democrats elected or reelected Donald Trump, and they have to live with it. And they can blame this one and that one and the other one and this group and that group. No, Joe Biden owns it. He owns it, and I
Which
don't
is
blame Harris as much as I do Biden.
which is so, like I said, ironic because obviously his whole claim for running in 2020 was to stop Donald Trump, and not only did he not do that, he made him stronger, at least in the, right now. But
Well, but he also said, in all essence, he said, I'm going to be a one-term president. That's
and
what he said.
exactly
I
right.
know what I heard, and the words were a little bit different, but everyone interpreted it the same way. But like most presidents, the ego kept growing and growing, and they loved the perks and they loved the attention. And I've never come across a president who, in the Oval Office, looked at his desk from the front and saw anybody else sitting in that seat but him.
Mm.
That's a fatal mistake. And Joe Biden, at his age, had no business running, and his staff had no business either encouraging him or not stopping him. And they're going to be held accountable in history. They gave us Donald Trump part two, and it's even worse than it was in part one.
I know you got to go. Let me ask you one more question because we see Marjorie Taylor Greene deciding to leave. We see Elise Stefanik now doing the same thing. Do you anticipate any more Republicans deciding in a surprise way like this to kind of call it quits before 2026?
If they are in deeply red districts or states, they certainly don't have to do it, and they may decide just to hang on. Again, most of these people can't imagine themselves out of office. They just can't, which is why, in a sense, I kind of respect what Stefanik has done because she's recognized reality. Most of these people can't. That's how you get, Chuck Grassley at 90 something in the U.S. Senate. I guess he's trying to beat Strom Thurmond's record from years ago. He made it to 100 in the United States Senate, and I think it'll be a while before anybody manages to do that again, though Grassley is in the running. So all I can tell you is that you're going to have people in swing states lose right and left. You're going to have Republicans losing right and left. There aren't any left-wing Republicans left. There are few moderates left, and they're going to be the first to go. I don't think some of them realize it. They think how popular they are and everybody loves them, and they're going to find out otherwise next November.
I
They're
mean, these
expecting.
Yeah, these tariffs are really an albatross. I mean, I don't know anyone who thinks these tariffs are helping anybody.
Well, the tariff, look, if it produces a recession, they'll hurt. We'll see whether it produces a recession or not. I have to admit, on this score, I'm paying less attention to the establishment economists because they've been wrong, wrong, wrong. They told us we were going to be in a recession by spring. It was inevitable after the tariffs. And by the way, I'm anti-tariff. I think this whole thing is crazy, but it hasn't produced what they told us it was going to produce. And in the end, in the prediction business, we're stuck with our failures. We never get credit for successes. We're stuck with our failures. And right now, they got a lot of failures. They have not done very well. So we'll see. I think little things matter, Derek. You're ignoring, you not personally, but people who observe
Mhm.
are ignoring little things, like putting Trump insisting, which he did, that his group of sycophants that he appointed to the Kennedy Center board put his name
Oh, yeah.
above that of the murdered John F. Kennedy on the Kennedy Center. What? That's beyond nerve. That's not egotism. That is megalomania. It's sickening. I have yet to come across one person, including all the Republicans, and of course, I'm here at a place that has loads of Republicans, whether they admit it or not. Not one person has said that it's not outrageous. It's sickening, and the idea of it. And he got away with it, but not for long. At 1201, January 20th, 2029, if a Democrat's elected president, those letters are going to be chipped off the walls of the Kennedy Center and a lot of other things too. All these things getting renamed for Donald Trump. It's very short term. Look up Saddam Hussein. You
Yeah, and
remember what
then
happened? You remember what happened with the statues and the this and the that and the other? Same thing's going to happen. He'll be a non-person.
and
Trump.
then just this week, the whole true social post about Rob Reiner. I mean, that
Oh,
was pretty.
no. And it's something every day, Derek. It's
Yeah.
something every day. And again, I know as many Republicans as I do Democrats, and we've known each other for decades. So when we go off the record, which is most of the time, they tell me the truth. They tell me what they really think. And they admire Trump's abilities to get elected twice. That's really what they admire. But they are just as repulsed as anybody else by the things that Trump does that no ordinary human being would even consider doing. And that's what's going to get Trump in the end.